Kipo and the Wonder Beast, and Shira. Please join me in giving a very warm Budapest welcome to Karen Fukuhara. Karen Fukuhara.
Wow, do we have a massage chair?
Yeah, they're bringing over the Iron Throne from the other hall as we speak. So.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. I'm so excited. Okay, great. Hi, Sia? Sio?
Sia!
Sia!
Hi Karen, welcome to Budapest.
Thank you for having me. I just learned how to say Budapest. In America we say Budapest because we're clueless, and someone at the con just now said, say it with the SH, Budapest. And so.
I think you nailed it.
Thank you.
It's your first time here.
It's my first time here. We just did a premiere of the last season of The Boys in Rome, and just popped on over from Rome to Budapest, and it was a quick hour and a half, 2-hour flight. Really excited to be here. I have obviously never been, and my good friend Charlene is with me, and we're just going to be little tourists for a few days here.
And Rome is where the premiere happens, a bit more than 2 weeks from now, right?
Yes, April 8th is when we release the first 2 episodes, and make sure you guys watch it on the first few days because it helps our ratings. And we're really excited. I think from the very, very beginning of the season, a lot happens, and you're at the edge of your seat, and you don't want to miss a moment. So we always say grab dinner, popcorn, drinks, and start watching. But I don't know, you might lose your appetite first few minutes.
Okay, that doesn't sound foreboding at all.
Yeah, but you get it. If you guys are here and you like the show, you get it.
So last season, what a ride so far. Is there anything you can tease from what's waiting, apart from countless amounts of goo and blood and all that?
Oh my god, there's always going to be blood, there's always going to be, bodily fluids. But, I think this final season, Eric, our showrunner, really wanted to do it right, especially for the fans. A lot of times, you love a show, and then sometimes in the last few episodes it kind of goes to shit. So we want to land the plane. We want to give the fans what they want, and so hopefully you guys like it. We did our very best. And if I were to tease anything, Kimiko's talking this season. She's talking. She's a bit of a chatterbox, and so it can be really quite different from previous seasons, but it'll show a different side of Kimiko that you guys have never seen. So I'm excited and also kind of anxious to see the reception of it.
Now you have to memorize lines.
I know. I've gotten through multiple seasons without having to do that, and now, but no, one thing that I really want to emphasize is that Kripke gave me the gift of sign language, and I feel like the sign language community is often looked glazed over. And my sign language coach, Amanda, she has always been hard of hearing, and her parents were also hard of hearing, and so her whole family has been signing and communicating that way, and her community has experienced so much I don't know what the word would be, but I'll give an example, and she doesn't mind me sharing this. It's her experience, but she has a hard time going to anywhere where she has to order quickly, or there's loud music playing in a cafe or a restaurant, and because of her hearing aid, it's really difficult for her to hear the other person, even with the hearing aid, with loud music, because I guess the hearing aid doesn't adjust volume.
Yeah.
So my voice is really loud right now, but for her, the voice that you hear me doing right now, the volume at that is the same as like someone in the crowd in the back. So she can hear that at the same level, which is quite difficult to decipher what's going on. And she's trying to read lips and everything. And so she kind of, you know, she has had experiences where the other person is unwilling to like help her. And so she's ordering a cappuccino at a cafe and they're frustrated that she can't hear. And it's just so, it makes me angry, you know? And I just think that we can be a little more kinder to people that don't speak your language. And like sign language is a language and it's just as powerful and important. And there's a whole subset of people that speak the language, much like English, much like Hungarian, much like, you know, Korean and Japanese and all of the above. So I'd like to say that Kimiko's always been speaking. She's been saying something, but this season you'll be able to hear it.
How different is to prepare for a speaking role as opposed to a non-speaking role? So, if you have a speaking role, you can link the two. When I say this, I do that. But when you don't have that first layer, how different will it become?
I think it's a different muscle that you have to practice and you have to use, because obviously when you can't speak out loud, you have to really emote with your face. Otherwise, you know, nobody understands what you're saying or what point you're trying to get across. And you know, as an actor, I think I learned through the seasons where she wasn't speaking out loud that I kind of had to fight for my screen time, because
Physically,
yes. Well, because you know, if you think about it, it's a long day. Everything is moving slowly but also quickly, and you're trying to get a lot done in one day of filming. And so there's been a lot of times where the director, if there is a speaking line, they know to shoot a close-up of you with the camera. But when you don't have a line and you're just doing reactions, they tend to forget that you're there as well. And so there have been moments where I have to go up to them and tell them like, oh, this is what I'm trying to do. Or if I had a line here, I would be saying this. And it's about speaking up for your character and fighting for those moments, because it's without those moments, Kimiko, like you have no idea what she's thinking.
yeah. Now, Kimiko is probably, sorry, am I pronouncing it right?
Yeah,
thank you.
Yes.
So she is one of the most complex characters on TV, and she's got this very real, raw physical presence, but also a deep emotional side. And what's the challenge in bringing those two polar opposites together in one character?
I had a lot of fun. I don't know if it was a huge challenge. I've grown up doing martial arts and karate mainly, and then for Suicide Squad I did a bunch of sword fighting training, and have gotten to work with some of the best stunt coordinators in the industry, and I just have such a great time. You know, we get to practice for weeks to months on these fight choreographies, and let me tell you, it is the most satisfying feeling when you're fighting stunt guys and you're the one beating them up, because you know you're not actually hitting them. You don't make contact. If you do, it's very little. It's very soft, and you pull back the punches so you don't actually hurt the other person. But they make you look so good. Like, you know, I just do one slash and they're like flying across the room, and you're like, wow, I did that. I didn't do it. It was them. But you know, you feel good doing it. But I could do it. You just feel good, and they make you look good. And I also love rehearsing with them, and it almost feels like a team sport. And at the end of the day, when you accomplish something, it's just such a good feeling. And I have lifelong friends that I've made through you know, through doing all of that. Like, I've stayed, I think the first few seasons, maybe 1 or 2 of The Boys, I stayed with a stunt woman in a different, like, in same apartment, different room, and I met her during Suicide Squad. So it's nice, like, it's nice going back to the same city and getting to do all of these things with a group of people. And to answer your question, the emotional beats, I think I got really lucky because Kirky writes like really well. He doesn't just go for shock value. I think a lot of, you know, the boys scenes, it's bizarre and it's crazy and we have fun watching it because you've never seen anything like that on any other show. But at the same time, you're able to care about these characters because he creates a backstory. And you know, you can see that in Kimiko. She's so violent, but you kind of deeply care for her because of her emotional beats with Frenchie. And then in the same way, like Homelander, right? He could just be an evil fucking bitch, but evil fucking bitch. But you know, you kind of root for him in a way, which is weird, and you kind of you love the character, but it's kind of like Breaking Bad, where you question your own moralities because you're like, wait a second, why do I like this character?
Sympathize with this.
Yes, this little bit, yeah.
Your words, not mine.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. So yeah, it's all in the writing, and I've just had a blast being on the show. Yeah.
You had some of the most intense physical scenes in the show. You had your neck snapped, you got shot, you got in the head, you got blown through a wall. How much is that? How much of it is CGI, and how much of that are practical effects?
We have a lot of practical effects on our show. So I think most of the boys' side, at least. I don't know about the soup side because we're not on set for that. It's all pretty practical. So I'm on wires, my stunt double is on wires. I will say, if I'm going through a wall, it's my stunt double. You know, there was one sequence, I don't even know if you'll remember it, but it was in, I think, season 4, going into one of the mansion scenes. And Kimiko has to scale up a wall outside. And for some reason, we drove all the way out 2 to 3 hours from Toronto to the Niagara Falls. It's so far. And we shot that at like 2 a.m., really cold winter. And I thought, you know, we're like next to the Niagara Falls because we want to shoot this beautiful like backdrop of the waterfall and like me scaling on the wire work and like dangling in the wind. But then Phil, our director, said, "Oh no, we don't have the rights to film the waterfall." So I said, "Oh, why are we here then, Phil? Why are we here?" And I don't know why we were there, but like that was all practical. You know, we could have very easily just CGI'd that or like on a green screen wall, but that was practical. A lot of location shoots. I'm trying to think. Everything, like I guess all of the starlight, you know, like blasts, that's all CGI, but we have a lot of blood on our set. That's practical. Prosthetics. I've been in so many different versions of it. I think one summer we Toronto ran out of fake blood.
Because of you guys?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, because we were saying like, more blood, like we need more blood. And they said, we don't have any more. So we had to wait a few, like a month or 2, I think, for them to like make more.
That leads nicely into my next question, because I actually wanted to ask you about all the blood and goo that happens on The Boys. So most of it is real, it's not CGI.
Yes. And then I think in some scenes they must add it, but...
Even more,
yeah.
So what are the challenges in you know, you're drenched in this stuff, you're stepping on it, you're slipping on it, it must be very hard.
Oh my goodness, I feel like in the world of The Boys, Huey and Kimiko are the bloodiest. And it's so funny, spoiler alert, but when one of the characters dies in season 3 or 4, right? When Newman goes, anyway.
Let's ask the fans.
Yeah.
Sure they know.
I'm sure they know. Okay. 4. Okay, 4. That was in 4. Thank you. Thank you. So when Newman dies, you know, her fake body is in the air, and then we had a humongous bucket, like probably the size of that speaker, was like all blood, right? And then there's a guy on the side that has like a button, and it goes, okay, everyone get to your positions, and you're like on your marks, and they're like, okay, you're looking at the body, and 3, 2, 1, go! And the blood just drops from the top and just like gushes down, and Jack and I got drenched, like completely head to toe. Like I couldn't open my eyes because there was like this sticky blood in, like it was just all over the place. And then I look over to Erin, who's Starlight, and she is pristine, not one drop of blood. I was like, Erin, what the fuck? What's going on? And she was like, I guess I didn't get the blood. So yeah, like Jack and I get blasted with the red sticky blood all the time. The best way to get it off is shaving cream.
Okay.
I don't know why. I'm not sure what the science is behind it, but it comes off clean with shaving cream.
Now, you have been together with the team for 7, 8 years now?
Yes.
And I'm sure the audience agrees with me that there are the TV shows that you watch. Yeah, people did it. That's a cast, okay. But there are the special shows where you can feel that the people who worked on it really grow together as a family. I know it's a cliche to say family, but and there not all shows are like that. But I think what I felt from all the content you guys post, that you really became this tight-knit group. Is that real? So are you guys really like that?
Yes. I do also agree. It's really corny for, you know, a group of actors to be like, we're family. And I always joke that, you know, we're like, we don't want to be like Fast and Furious. We're like, you know what, one last ride because we're family. But it's really true. Like we've grown so close, and I think it's because we had the pandemic. And we shot during the pandemic, and so we did like 2-week quarantine in Toronto in a hotel, and then we, you know, one of the seasons we had those like plastic cones on set. So like, you know, when dogs get surgery and then they like get the we had one of those during one of the seasons, and you know, we couldn't see anyone else. We could only hang out with each other, and I think that brought us together. The first few years, we went out a lot to like, usually it's just dinners, but our dinners would start at like 8, and then we like stayed out in the same restaurant for like hours and hours till like midnight or 1. And it just brought us together, you know, as a cast. And what's beautiful is that every single person is incredibly kind, and they're like my brothers and sisters now. And this press tour and this final season is very emotional for us. And there's been a lot of moments where we like start tearing up because it's gonna be different, you know. We're gonna be friends forever. I've gained lifelong friends through it, but I also acknowledge that, you know, everyone is, you know, coming from a different country. Everyone is going to be shooting all over the world, and it's going to be harder and harder to have that like core, you know.
There's like a sort of grief process.
It is
go through
a huge grief process. I think last year I had to. It was mourning for Toronto and the people that I met there. The crew was amazing. Saying goodbye to my character was really difficult for me. Putting on Kimiko's outfit for the last time, and you know, working with hair and makeup and the wardrobe department, and like saying goodbye to that was really difficult for me. It almost feels like a graduation of sorts, and a long one because it's 7-8 years. It's longer than college.
Yeah, it's a high school and college put together.
Yes, exactly.
So you all got the boys' PhDs by the end.
Sorry?
You all got the boys' PhDs by the end.
Yes, we're professionals. We're experts in the field.
Now we can't talk about Kimiko without Frenchie, and and this is exactly what I wanted to ask you about. Do you know how this ship lives on in the fandom? Have you seen, fan art, fanfic, or all that about these two lovebirds?
Yeah, I mean, I see all the fan art, and I love every single one of them. Tomer and I sometimes print them out and put them in our trailers, and we just. It's just so cute. I remember there was one that one of the fans made of Kimiko and Frenchie in Marseille at a cafe, and it was just so beautifully done, and it looked like a postcard. And they actually gave it to me at a convention one time, and I kept that. It's somewhere in my box of all the fan stuff that I keep, and it's beautiful, and I never would have thought that. People would ship them so hard because, I didn't thank you. I mean, in season 1, we didn't know if they were going to be romantic partners, and I don't think Kripke even knew. We kind of, it all came from our chemistry together, because it could have gone.
The chemistry between you and Tomer.
Yeah. Because I think I asked Kripke in the beginning, I was like, oh, should I act like I like him, in that way? Because in the comic books, it's very platonic, and it's more father-daughter relationship, I think, for most of it, until the very end, obviously. But it's just a beautiful love story, and you'll see where it goes this final season. I think it's a little unexpected, which is good. Yeah.
Now, The Boys doesn't shy away from social commentary on all sorts of topics, from racism to sexual harassment to the impact of social media. And if it wasn't portrayed right, it could have felt preachy. But I think The Boys managed to land the message through the very character of the show and the sheer chaos that is going on. What do you make this balance really work, or what makes it land on the point?
Yeah, I think it's all in the writing. As a viewer, when I watch our show, I find that a lot of the jabs that we make towards these subjects, it's something that has already crossed your mind before, a lighthearted one would be the A-Train commercial, what was it, Pepsi commercial for poking fun at the Kendall Jenner one, or the one where all the actors decided to sing about hope during the pandemic. It's very tone deaf, and we all thought it. We were like, that's weird, but to see it done by these superheroes on our show makes it remember that's so funny. Remember we all thought that, and then now it's in the show. So I think I like our humor, but I've grown up watching Seth Rogen movies, so I think I'm a little biased. And yeah, I mean, I think it's important to showcase things that actually happen in our real world, right? Sexual harassment, that kind of thing happens all the time. And what is the point of making something if we're not addressing some of the important topics within our society?
Yeah, exactly. As a related question, the series often shows how easily violence or celebrity or ideology can get normalized. Has being part of this changed anything in you, how you look at all the real world counterparts, or real world media, or social media, or politics?
Yes and no. I think I don't know if my ideology has changed personally or anything, but I do understand sort of like the importance of like speaking up when things are like not looking right, especially in your personal life, right? I think that we all think that we don't have the power to change things, and one of the biggest, like tying it back to Kimiko, one of the biggest things that she says to Frenchie in one of, I think, season 4 is that even if you feel like what you've done in the past is too tragic and you might feel irredeemable, there's always acts of kindness that can be done, and that's the only way to sort of like own up to what you've done, because like you can't go back in time to change those things, but moving forward you can do good. And so yeah, I think we all forget how much power like lies within ourselves, and I hope that her messaging is like felt by many.
We have a few minutes, and I'd like to ask a few more questions outside of the boys' realm, but just one last one.
Yes.
What was the absolutely, positively, the weirdest thing that happened to you on set?
Oh my goodness. There's been so many like fun, weird moments. I really loved the whale sequence. Yeah, because that was one of the most epic days on set. It was 2 or 3 days, I think, and that director, Steve Boehm, is like an epic director that comes from stunts. So I think he used to be a stuntman and then became a director. And I'm not sure if you guys have been to the California Disneyland. This is awesome. This is a very niche thing. If you ever go to Disney's California Adventures, there's a ride where you're like on an airplane and then you're going through like all the different sites of California, and it's a ride and it's virtual. So you have this huge screen in front of you, and at one point there's a part where the airplane that you're on is going through the orange fields of California, because we're known for oranges, and you know you're on a paraglider or hang glider?
Hang glider?
Hang glider, yeah. And you smell the like oranges on the ride, and like it's like a very memorable part of the ride. And Steve Boehm, our director, is the one that had a GoPro on his head, and he's the one that actually did the hang gliding, so that you guys have the footage to feel like you're on it, but he's the one that actually did it. So anyway, he was crazy. He was an amazing director, and so like, I just remember we were on our boat, the 5 of us, plus Kenji, and then Steve is like on a helicopter, like above, like way above, and you can see like he's just like in his element, and he's like holding on to this like like the doors are open on the helicopter, and he's like, action! And we're like on this boat, I'm like, Carl is going so fast, and I'm on the back of the boat like fighting for my life, but also like trying to look badass because I'm a superhero, or like I'm Kimiko, you know, and Kimiko would not be like, ah! So I was trying to be like, okay, Karen, just like look like you enjoy this and like this badass, but really I'm like fighting for my life on the back of the boat. So that was like a very memorable few days on set, and like it's fun when you're going through something like that with people. It's kind of like if you're, you know, amongst friends and all doing on a project, or you're going on a trip together, or you know, you're it's like an initiation for a fraternity maybe. So I think that really brought us together in one of my favorite days on set.
Sounds like a day of fun.
It was, okay, you know, I will say, it was a lot of fun, but it was also really difficult because we all got really seasick, and we had like the patches on the back of our ears and also like anti-nausea medication, but like 3 days on a boat is like you're kind of like you go home and you're showering and you're like, am I still on the boat? Like this is crazy. But yeah, I think that was one of my favorite.
You have spoken earlier about learning new skills for different roles. Are there any that either changed you as a person or stayed with you and something that even you use even today in your writing?
I don't know. I think some of my favorite things that I've done are, you know, sword fighting. That was really, really cool. I did not keep up with it. So I don't know if I can wield a sword anymore. Maybe just a few weeks of practice and I'll get back on the horse. But aside from that, I'm trying to think. I feel like a lot of the skills that I've learned are things that I have carried over from prior training. So like I used to sing in college, and so that helped me out for the musical number. And then with the fight choreography, I think a lot of that like is ingrained in me from doing karate. So I don't know if it like, you know what I would love to do? I would love to do a movie where I have to play like an instrument, like the guitar or a piano, so then I can actually like finally sit down and practice and be good at it. Okay.
Script writers out there,
yes,
listen to the lady.
Beethoven, I could play Beethoven. I could be Beethoven. We look the same.
So, your acting career started about 10 years ago, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, oh my goodness, I think so.
That could go well with the 2016 trend going on social media right now.
Whoa! The one where you like...
Yeah, post what happened, what you've been doing 10 years ago.
Oh my goodness, I should. You know, 10 years ago was 2016. 2016, I think, is when Suicide Squad came out. And so...
Okay, so a bit more than...
But, like, that's perfect. Yeah, no, you're right.
In these 10 years, what is it that has gotten easy for you? And what is it about acting that proved harder than anyone ever told you that it will be?
I think the easier part is knowing you have more access to things than before. So when I auditioned for Suicide Squad, I had no idea what it was an audition for. I didn't get the script. I just got, you know, a few pages. Now I have a lot of times I can ask for the script, and I think that just comes from having good agents and managers who are fighting in your corner to give you the best shot, you know, and having that entire script and access to the, like, I feel like I still don't really have access to the directors and the writers before an audition, but I know that some actors do, right? And having that information is so important as an actor, because what if there's an inside joke in there? Or what if, you know, you're missing the type of humor that your character has because you don't know, like they don't tell you. So I think having access has gotten easier over the years. And then difficulty, I think every job has its own challenges. Obviously, like for Kimiko, it was a challenge to figure out how to emote with just my face. And then I had to learn how to do sign language. And then, like, now it was a whole new challenge of how do we want Kimiko to sound? What is her personality going to be when she's speaking? It's almost like constructing a whole new person. And so every job has its own challenges, and I think I'm working on a show called The Rookie North. It's a spin-off of the Nathan Fillion show, The Rookie, and we just shot the pilot episode in Vancouver, and hopefully, crossing fingers that it's getting picked up to series, but that one I'm playing a cop, and one of the funniest things, I feel like I'm pretty athletic. I'm not the most athletic, but I am pretty athletic. And as a cop, you're like always chasing suspects. And I don't really do cardio, so I should have probably started practicing beforehand, but like I didn't. And we shot the pilot, and there was a scene where I'm like running behind like a stuntman, and the stuntmen run so fast. They run so fast, and you're wearing this huge cop
utility belt? Utility belt.
Utility belt, yes. You're wearing the utility belt, and the utility belt is so heavy, guys. It's really heavy. It's like 5 to 10 pounds, I think. And you're just like, I have short legs. I'm trying to run after someone, and like, I was like, please run slower because I need to look badass here, and you're not helping. So yeah, like new challenges every single time. You know, you live and you learn.
Unfortunately, our time's up, but before I let you go, and you partially already answered the question, what's next for you? When and how can the fans will see you, meet you?
Yes, so The Rookie North, if we get picked up, will be coming out sometime in the next year. And what else? I just want to say, watch The Boys. You know, it's our season finale, I know, and series finale, and I know you guys will not be disappointed. It's just as like bizarre and crazy, and you'll feel all kinds of emotions. It's just like a fun show to watch, and we're really excited to experience that with the fans that have been with us, especially since season 1. And since we're doing weekly releases, we are reading the comments. We want to know what your thoughts are. Please be nice. But you know, it's exciting. I think, you know, in the past few years, I've had a really good time, like healthily checking in, you know, every week to see like, oh, like what did they like about this episode? And it's fun because like we make the show for the fans, and so it's just nice to know like what people think. So.
Please be nice, or else.
Or else.
Karen
I will cry.
Karen Fukuhara, thank you very much for visiting.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, thank you guys. Thank you for being here. Everyone's like standing outside.
And I guess see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, and see you in person today, hopefully. Yes. Awesome, thank you.